Hi everyone, I am Anonymous Traveler from Intellectual Exercise. Last time, I discussed the relation between man and the hidden God of a manifestation. I explained that this hidden God exists outside of this universe and has never created this world and free from the life cycle of the universe, including Big Bang. And I mentioned that all the other gods and goddesses we are familiar with come from this supreme God of unmanifestation. I will call these gods and goddesses as Class 2 gods. And today, I will discuss the relation between man and these Class 2 gods. We are already familiar with these gods and goddesses. They are gods of sleeping humanity, gods for the majority of human race. I am talking about all kinds of gods and goddesses from various religions and cultures. Many people are under the impression that the relation between man and God is a one-way street and we are the one who is pitiful and stupid and always need some grace and favor from God, and then if we beg nicely and politely, God might give us what we need if He is in a good mood. However, that's not exactly true in terms of relationship dynamics. As much as those religious people need their God, the God also need those religious people to obtain nutrition for survival. Advanced spiritual beings, such as God, do not feed on material food for survival. They feed on human energy. And I have to make one thing clear. When I describe those gods as advanced spiritual beings, I was not implying that those gods are better than us. Let me explain why. Humans are more advanced creatures than animals. However, does that mean all the humans are morally superior than animals? The answer is no. It depends. Some people are far lower than animals. Animals simply kill to eat. But some people torture and kill for fun. And I consider those people far lower than animals for that reason. Following this logic, just because someone belongs to a more advanced species, he or she cannot be morally or ethically superior than the members of the lower species. And the same principle applies to gods and goddesses. Although they are superior species than us, it does not mean they are morally or ethically superior than humans. And have you ever wondered why so many gods from ancient times have disappeared? Some of those ancient gods literally have vanished without a trace. And the dynamics of this fall and the decline of each ancient god is very similar with various human empires throughout the history. Every empire went through the cycle of birth, growth, maintenance, decline, and demise. During the cycle of decline, each people's positive emotional connection to the empire decreases. Of course, there are many factors involved with the decline of various empires. However, one of the key phenomena of the decline is this disintegration of the bond of emotional attachment and loyalty between the empire and its people. This disintegration tends to get accelerated as time goes by, and finally the empire would be dissolved. Similar process has been happened between gods and humans. Even a god has a process of birth, maintenance, decline, and demise. The key existential difference between God and man is the growth process. Those gods came to exist, and at that point of birth, their growth is already complete. In the case of a human, being born is just the beginning of a long process of growing up. But gods are lucky because they don't have to go through all these years of growing up. It creates a delusion in their mind that they are immortal. However, even those gods cannot survive the destruction of the universe. The universe is not immortal. Each universe is born with a big bang, and then it grows, maintains, declines, and dies. And all these second-class gods die with each universe. But some gods and goddesses disappear or die long before the death of the universe. I will call this a premature death of gods and goddesses. I already mentioned that gods feed on human energy. And this premature death of God happens due to the shortage of human energy from its followers. During the cycle of decline of each god's existence, the emotional and the spiritual bond between a particular god and the humans declines. It can be triggered with various things. Sometimes it was a rise of a new religion and a new god. Sometimes it was a new king who wants a secular government with minimum or no religious activities. But whatever event triggered a new phase of the cycle of existence, the god would eventually disappear from the mind of man. If one wishes to study these gods and goddesses, one of the most useful tools is psychobiography. Psychobiography is a tool to analyze historically significant people. It uses various historical or personal events to analyze the mind of those people. However, we can use the same principle and methodology to gods and goddesses. By using this investigation technique to the personality of gods and goddesses, I came to the conclusion that those gods from various religions are no better than humans in terms of integrity and morality. Each organized religion claims that their God is loving and benevolent figure. However, actual analysis of their God's behavior based on psychobiography brings up a completely different picture of this self-claimed loving figure. For an example, I will share a famous story from the Bible to reveal the basic attitude of this self-claimed loving and benevolent God. If you look at the Genesis 3:22, God said, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat, and live forever." From this, we can see that his main interest is to suppress man's freedom. Now let's look at another example of this God's behavior. In the Bible, on many occasions, he claimed that you shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. If he is the most powerful and in a different league than his competitors and rivals, such as other gods and goddesses, then why did he need to assert this obsessively? When one is truly superior, he does not need to worry about those competing gods. However, this God of Christianity cannot do that because he is the most brutal one in terms of his politics, and there is no end in his greed for power. The way he chose to guarantee his survival is threatening humans with eternal hellfire, so no one would try to escape from his mental slavery. Also, calling all the other gods evil is one of his favorite strategies, which demonized everybody except himself. Although all the other gods and goddesses have been competing with each other for survival, the most brutal and cruel one has been this God of Christianity. And these gods and goddesses are more powerful than human, and they are fighting for the limited resource of energy, which is human energy, from the worship, prayer, and emotional bond of humans. And the sad thing is, a number of gods and goddesses with much better personality have been crushed and destroyed by brutal gods, such as the God of Christianity. So I have discussed the relation dynamics between man and class 2 gods and goddesses. Thanks for listening, and all the best.